Years ago, a group of Scandinavians conquered Europe, not by working harder, but by working smarter. Today, the Vikings are known to the Netflix generation merely as brutal warriors, but the truth is, their innovative boat building laid the foundation for Norway's maritime legacy. In the 18th century, Norway took the lead in the European market for sail ships when times demanded more effective shipping of goods and services. After World War II, when a long period of linear growth in the Western economy created a market for recreational boats, we led the transition from wooden boats to plastic boats. Norway has been the face of every major boating revolution in modern history. And today we face another revolution, sustainable electric boating. Except this time nobody seems to care. Norway has pledged to reduce emissions by 50% in every sector in the next 8 years. And by 2050, as you all know, we will no longer be emitting fossil fuels. Everyone knows it's coming, even the folks in the traditional boating industry. Can you imagine 20 years from now owning a boat that leaks oil into the water? That creates so much noise pollution you can't even carry on a conversation with your wife, and is built of materials that can't even be reused. I think future generations will look at us like barbarians. And yet, when companies today are asked to develop sustainable boating solutions, they act like it can't be done. Somehow, people believe sustainable boating is both inevitable and impossible. So, where is the Elon Musk of boating? Well, actually, he's in Florø. Meet Leif. He quit the C-suite job in the oil industry and co-founded Evoy in 2018. Their goal is to make sustainable boating irresistible. A couple of weeks ago, he invited me for a ride in his boat. You'd expect it to be lame compared to a powerful gas-powered boat, but instead his 800 horsepower full electric engine did more than 60 knots. I was like all over the place. It was so cool. And made virtually no sound. So, many people in traditional boating believe it's impossible to make fast and fun electric boats because it takes so much energy to move the boat through the water. And to be fair, it does. So why don't we make a boat that flies? That's what Sweden did. Tell me, Per Espen, you wouldn't feel like James Bond riding this boat. Huh? So these boats and many more are available for demo rides in Arendal in June this year. So should you invest in this innovation? Norway, in relation to its population, and I guess you didn't know that, is the single largest market in the world for leisure boats. Look at the numbers. 11% CAGR, and an expected global growth of more than 30 billion euros in the next years. Most of the boating industry is treating sustainable electric boating like an incremental innovation, but it's not. It's a disruptive innovation. Just like it was 70 years ago. In 1953, a young engineer from Grimstad went on a study trip to the States. He was introduced to a new material called fiberglass. Back home, he built a prototype in his garage. At first, nobody took him seriously because everyone knew that the future of wooden leisure boats was, of course, even better wooden leisure boats. But fiberglass made it possible to build hulls for greater speed. The engines got bigger, the boats got much easier to maintain and much cheaper. So in 1954, Norway's first plastic boat industry started producing boats on Tromøya in Arendal. And 16 years later, in 1970, we were the center of a European or international plastic boat industry. In fact, we were the single largest exporter of such boats to the European market. And today, plastic boats still dominate. But 16 years from now, they will be a thing of the past. And the question is, will Norway once again lead the way like we've done so many times before? Yes, we can, and we should. We need a wake-up call for the early market, for the politicians, and not least for the investors. So, my final point. That's why we made Lydløs. which is an arena for future boating. And I'm also leading the Electric Boating Business Network with your help, guys. Norway will once again be a main player in the European boat market, creating new jobs, building business, and establishing green growth. Thank you.